Is the College of Spirits Bard really the worst Bard subclass out there? Does it keep up with the 2024 changes to the player's handbook? Or is it still the Nicolas Cage of subclasses? Chaotic, unpredictable, but somehow
intriguing.
Feeling much better.
Hello everyone, this is Daisuke, and if ghosts and RNG aren't your cup of tea, buckle up, you're in for a spooky ride. So the College of Spirits Bard was introduced in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft in 2021. The subclass channels the powers of spirits for magical effects, offering bards a narrative so eerie it's like you mixed Shakespeare and The Conjuring. You get spooky but theatrical. At level 3 you start with guidance, which is like your reliable friend in a horror movie who always gives you solid advice before the dumb decisions start happening. It's a 1d4 bonus to an ability check and with a 60-foot range. It's basically a magical megaphone shouting,
Split up? We're splitting up? Is that wise?
Next we have Spiritual Focus, and this is where the RP fun begins. You can use spellcasting focuses that are more Han and house chic than traditional bard bling. Candles, crystal balls, skulls, spirit boards, and tarot deck. Basically, you're turning into a hot topic store.
Or should we say, how you boy?
But honestly, at level 3 this feature is just for flavor. No real mechanical bite. The real chaos kicks in with Tales from Beyond. You can spend the bardic inspiration with a bonus action to roll on the Spirit Tales table. Imagine Wheel of Fortune. But with spirits deciding whether you get to teleport your friends or just offer a spooky high five. It's random, it's wild, and honestly, it feels like rolling for wild magic. The die you roll depends on your bard level. You start off with a d6, d8 at level 5, d10 at level 10, and d12 at level 15, meaning that you will progressively unlock additional options as you increase your bardic inspiration die. You can roll on this table a number of times equal to your bardic inspiration uses, which is your charisma modifier and resets on a long rest. At level 3 you have access to 6 of these tales. You can retain one of these tales at a time and you can cast it with a normal action. Once it's cast, it's lost and you have to re-roll to gain a new tale. Some of the tales are pretty good, even at level 3. For example, Tale of the Runaway allows you to teleport a number of creatures equal to your charisma modifier for up to 30 feet, which is pretty strong. There's one that gives you temporary hit points, one that damages an enemy with force damage, and tales higher up the table get progressively stronger. Tale of the Dragon, for example, gives you a Dragon Breath attack that deals 4 rolls of your bardic inspiration die, which can go up to 4d12. Some other tales give you utility in the form of crowd control, invisibility, and more healing. The downside? Well, you're spending a bardic inspiration, which after the 2024 buff is like throwing away your Wi-Fi password when the Wi-Fi actually works. It's like using a magic 8-ball to decide whether you cast Healing Word or accidentally summon a ghost. At level 6, your Spiritual Focus gets an upgrade, adding a d6 to damage and healing rolls. Think of it like adding an extra seasoning to your spell casting. It's not really game breaking, but it's kind of like white people discovering salt and pepper for the first time. Wow! Still at level 6, you get Spirit Session, and this one's kind of like a spooky seance.
Flashback Mary.
You get to conduct a 1-hour-long ritual that teaches you a spell from any class, but it has to be divination or necromancy. Basically, your bard becomes a magical LinkedIn networker, sliding into the DMs of dead wizards for pro tips. I'm just kidding, they'll forever live in our hearts. At lower levels, you can get stuff like Detect Thoughts, Detect Magic, and Bestow Curse. And at tiers 2 to 3, however, you can get some serious damaging spells with the Necromancy School, which bards usually lack. For example, Blight, Circle of Death, Negative Energy, or even some more fun stuff like Animate Dead, for example. Once you get to level 10, however, this feature becomes a little less shiny since magical secrets open up, and your spells list basically extends to everyone's playlist. I'd say, however, that Spirit Session remains a pretty strong feat. It gives you a free spell nevertheless, and also provides for the possibility of having some fun RP. At level 14, you finally get to somewhat control your Tales from Beyond feature. You roll twice on the table and choose which effect you want. Imagine it's like you're Doctor Strange, seeing every possible future, but instead of saving the universe, you're deciding whether to summon a spirit, to throw shade, or help heal a buddy. If you roll the same number twice, however, you get to pick any tale you want. So is the College of Spirits Bard really a top tier tier subclass or not. I don't really think so. I feel like it's more like the Ghostbusters 2016 of Bard subclasses. It has a lot of potential, but you need the right DM to really make it work. You've got flavor, you've got randomness, but it's not always reliable. Kind of like trying to cast a spell using Windows Vista. Honestly, if you have a generous DM, I would ask him to instead roll on the tables from beyond whenever you use your Bardic Inspiration. I feel like that would fix the class. It wouldn't be too powerful because you actually don't get that much from your level 3, and the class's main feat is still really random, while at the same time it cannot possibly be a bad subclass because you're still playing a Bard, which you could probably play without a subclass at all and you'd still do fairly well.
Okay.
On a positive note though, it's pretty cool that you get to, even while you're in combat, to roll with a bonus action at the table and then to cast a tail with an action immediately afterwards. With the new rules, it also means that if you have a tail ready, you can cast a leveled spell with the bonus action and still cast a tail with your main action. Add to that your base spell slots, and honestly you'll always have something to do during combat. The main upside of this class, however, is really the flavor that it provides and how it's able to bring something to the table that bards don't really have access to elsewhere. The College of Spirits could be your way to stand out. Plus, when else do you really get to roleplay a session with the ghostly Ouija board? Depending on how far your DM is willing to go with this, you might very well be able to summon dead family members for you and your team to RP with during a spirit session. I mean, honestly imagine the whole party wanting to do a short rest and you pull out an Ouija board and start summoning demons and whatnot. This can even be a great storytelling device for your DM through which they can provide additional hints or guidance. You want to learn a 9th level spell during spirit session, but you only have a 4-man party? No problem. Open up a Taroka reading commerce in your local town and invite random NPCs to join the ritual so that they can speak to dead relatives. Or you might as well just charm some NPCs and force them to participate in the ritual. Or just become a guru with a whole community of spirits worshippers.
If you don't have a core message that's making a positive impact on the planet, what the fuck are you doing?
Another really cool interaction is the Cartomancer feat from the Book of Many Things. You learn an advanced form of prestidigitation with which you can create illusions that duplicate the effects of stage magic, and you can also conceal the somatic components of the spell. Imagine just starting a spirit session in the middle of a tavern pretending that you're doing a show and you create ghosts around the tavern, spooky sounds and random fog for extra drama. Additionally, you get to choose one spell from your class's spell list and imbue a spell into a card which you then get to use as a bonus action again without wasting a spell slot. You would already be using a Taroka dex as a spell focus, so it really adds up in terms of RP. An issue is that you only get your subclasses at level 3, meaning that until then you're just a simple bard, and once you reach that threshold you gain access to all these new ghostly features. I feel like the transition wasn't very natural, but there are definitely some ways to bridge this. Maybe your bard died for a short moment and created a bridge to the afterlife, or maybe your bard made a pact with a powerful entity. The limitation here again is really your imagination and your DM's call. You're telling the stories of the dead, summoning spirits, and turning tavern rests into creepy haunted house tours. You can make a business out of it, open up a Taroka reading shop and convince NPCs to join your seance for some extra cash. You're not just a bard, you're basically an afterlife influencer. To sum it all up, the College of Spirits Bard is a subclass that stands out with its spooky flavor and potential for creative roleplaying. Its random nature can be a bit frustrating at times, especially with the loss of bardic inspiration, but when the stars align, or the dice roll right, it can deliver some powerful and unique moments. The key is to embrace the unpredictability, and with the right tweaks or a generous DM, it can really shine in your campaign. While it may not have the steady reliability of some other bard subclasses, the College of Spirits brings something special to the table. If you're looking for a flavorful subclass, this one's definitely worth a try. If you enjoyed today's adventure, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more magical insights. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of the College of Spirits Bard and how you would play one. If you have an idea of what the next video should be, also let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.